Chapter 1, January 11th, 2201, Denver, topside. As Cooper passed the small, run-down building on the corner, he heard something he'd never heard before, howling. Usually all he ever heard while topside was the sound of the wind or maybe the rustling of the trees. The howling made him stop, frozen in his tracks. That was when he saw the three large wild dogs come around the side of the dilapidated building, heading directly at him. Fight or flight, Cooper thought, with only a second to choose. He looked around for any type of weapon. He carried his trusty flashlight, but that probably wouldn't do much damage. He saw a large oak tree just a couple of steps away and decided this was his best bet. He started running toward the tree, putting his flashlight in his winter coat as he went and making sure his backpack was secure. The dogs were barking and growling closely behind as he reached the tree. Luckily, Cooper was pretty agile and climbed to the first limb safely before they arrived. The dogs clawed and jumped on the side of the tree trying to reach him. They looked vicious, showing their teeth and growling while not giving up. He could see the foaming, white, slimy saliva dripping from their mouths and smell the wretchedness of their hot breath. It is weird, thought Cooper. I haven't seen anything but rats in the city until today. So how did these wild dogs survive? He analyzed his options while waiting on the limb. Climbing down was not an option, as they would tear him to pieces and eat him alive. He could stay up in the tree for a while, but he doubted the dogs would give up their fresh meat, him. Looking up at the tree, he noticed that it branched out above the street, but also above the building next to it. If he could climb high enough, he might be able to jump to the roof of the two-story building. Cooper didn't see any other options, so he chose to climb. This sent the dogs into another wild frenzy of barking as they tried to jump again for Cooper's legs. He made it to the top of the next branch and studied the roof below. The roof looked like it had collapsed recently and would offer no support when he landed. He would have to look for another solution. It was hard to think clearly with the incessant barking and growling of the dogs. He examined the rest of the tree. In addition to the large branch he was on, there were some smaller branches that extended closer to the side of the building. He noticed one small branch that extended close to an open window on the second floor. He might be able to swing himself through the window. I don't have much choice at this point, Cooper thought. He started the climb down carefully so as not to end his life either by the fall or by the dogs ripping the flesh from his bones. He reached the branch that he thought would work. While looking across to the building, he lost his concentration for a moment and then his footing. With a quick movement, he re-grabbed the branch, avoiding the fall to the ground. He was hanging on the branch as the dogs moved below him, awaiting their dinner. Moving his hands one at a time, Cooper pulled himself along the branch closer to the building. The window was just a few feet away. This is going to work, he thought, just as he heard the sound of the branch begin to break. He moved quickly towards the end of the branch to get as close as possible to the window before jumping. Just as he was about to jump, the branch gave way and he fell. He grabbed the window, barely able to hang on to the ledge with his fingertips. The dogs were in a frenzy below as the branch crashed to the ground, hitting one of them and causing it to yelp. Cooper tried to pull himself up into the window and failed the first time. His arms were aching from having to hang on after the branch broke. He took a deep breath and thought, I have to do this. Trying again, he used his boots this time on the side of the building for leverage, enabling him to get up and through the open window. He made it through the window and rested inside the inside wall. Breathing hard with sweat dripping from his forehead, even though it was cold outside, he started to think. I survived the worst of it, Cooper thought, but the dogs still circled under the window. Luckily, he wasn't far from home, so he just needed to distract them long enough to sneak out the back of the building. He opened his pack and remembered that he'd brought a bag of rice crackers. He crumpled them up into pieces and went to the window to look below. The dogs were there and immediately started barking again when they saw Cooper. He threw the crackers as far as he could out the window. The dogs, seeing this, split apart, turning the other way and trying to catch the crumbs as they hit the snow. This was Cooper's cue. He turned around, walking carefully but quickly through the room until he found the stairs to the first floor. The stairs creaked heavily under his feet, but they held until he could jump from them down to the ground floor. He looked around, found an open hole where a window used to be in the back of the building, and climbed out. Running as quietly as possible, he made his escape in the opposite direction from the dogs.